Hi!
Hello!
I'm Sophie.
And I'm Zach, and welcome to class. For today's topic, we have holidays for General English B1+.
მოგესალმებით. კეთილი იყოს თქვენი დაბრუნება ჩვენს ტელესკოლაში. მე სოფო ვარ, ეს კი ზაკია. დღევანდელი ჩვენი გაკვეთილი შეეხება დასვენების დღეებს. თქვენ უყურებთ ზოგადი ინგლისურს დონე B1+. ვიდრე უშუალოდ გაკვეთილზე გადავიდოდეთ, მოდით ერთად გადავხედოთ დღევანდელი დღის გეგმას. დღევანდელი ჩვენი გაკვეთილი დაიწყება მოკლე შესწავლით, ამის შემდეგ შევისწავლით ლექსიკას, ამის შემდეგ გვექნება წაკითხულის გააზრება, შემდეგ გადავალთ გრამატიკაზე და გრამატიკულ სავარჯიშოებზე, ამის შემდეგ ერთად შევაჯამებთ დღევანდელ გაკვეთილს და დავასრულებთ ყველასათვის საყვარელი საშინაო დავალებით. Let's start?
Let's do it.
So
Sophie, what is your favorite holiday period and why?
Well, I think that I love all holiday periods, and each holiday has its own specialties. For example, the winter holiday, you can go out and ski a lot, that I love very much. And then in the summer, you can go to the sea and relax on the beach and travel. So I don't really have one holiday period that I love. All of them are fantastic. Oh. What about you?
Oh, I think I agree with you, but I love winter.
Okay.
Because I love New Year's and I love snow whenever it does snow. And it's just the nice feeling, I think.
Yeah, you have a Christmas at the same time.
Exactly.
So the atmosphere is really, calm and nice, right?
Oh, totally right. Mm-hmm. So now let's move to our first section, the vocabulary. And we have new vocabulary words that you can see on the screen.
ახლა კი გადავიდეთ ლექსიკის ნაწილზე. ეკრანზე მოცემულია ის სიტყვები, რომლებსაც შევისწავლით დღევანდელ გაკვეთილზე.
So our first word is itinerary, and it is a noun. An itinerary is like a schedule, which is a synonym for it, and it's just like what you will do or your plan for your vacation or something else.
Itinerary in Georgian means marshruti an gza. Itinerary, marshruti an gza. Itinerary, marshruti an gza. Itinerary, marshruti an gza.
And next we have destination, which is a noun, and destination is the place you are trying to get to on a trip or on a road trip or when you're flying. It's your final place that you will be at.
Yeah, so for example, if you're going to Paris, your final destination is Paris. And if you're flying to Paris and you have stops in between, those stops won't be your final destination. The final destination is where you are going when you're trying to go. Yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
So
right.
Destination in Georgian is დანიშნულების ადგილი. Destination, დანიშნულების ადგილი. Destination, დანიშნულების ადგილი. Destination, დანიშნულების ადგილი.
And next we have resort, which is a noun, and it is usually a place that you go to get some luxury attention and relax, like a hotel.
Yeah, very true. For example, in Georgia, we can say that we have multiple different resorts. For example, we have ski resorts, beach resorts, and so on and so forth, right? So resort in Georgian means kurorti. Resort, kurorti. Resort, kurorti. Resort, kurorti.
And next we have leave, which is a noun, and leave is when you leave your job for a break or to go on vacation. You can go on leave.
Yes, and the leave can be different sorts. For example, it can be also a sick leave, it can be a maternity leave, or a general leave when you are on a vacation, right? So leave in Georgian means შვებულება. Leave, შვებულება, leave, შვებულება. Leave, შვებულება.
And next we have bank holiday, which is a noun, and bank holiday is when banks and other official buildings and places are closed.
Yeah, we should probably also say that it's quite a British sort of a day, and in USA
not so much. I don't think.
Yeah. So bank holiday in Georgian means უქმე დღე. Bank holiday, უქმე დღე. Bank holiday, უქმე დღე. Bank holiday, უქმე დღე.
And then next we have reservation, which is a noun, and reservation is when you call ahead to a place like a restaurant or a hotel and you save your place there so you can stay there.
Yeah, especially if you're going to a restaurant that is well known or to a hotel during the peak season, you should definitely do a reservation. Otherwise, when you go there, you might not be the spot might not be available for you. So it's always better to call ahead and to reserve a place for you. Reservation in Georgian means დაჯავშნა. Reservation, დაჯავშნა, reservation, დაჯავშნა, reservation, დაჯავშნა.
And next we have leisure, which is a noun, and leisure means when you have free time or you're just relaxing, and like a leisure activity, like playing a game or reading or something like that.
Leisure in Georgian means მოცლილობა ან თავისუფალი დრო. Leisure, მოცლილობა ან თავისუფალი დრო. Leisure, მოცლილობა ან თავისუფალი დრო.
Now let's move on to the vocabulary activity, where we will have our words that we just discussed and match them with the definitions.
ახლა კი გადავიდეთ ლექსიკის სავარჯიშოზე. ამ სავარჯიშოში თქვენ უნდა შეუსაბამოთ მოცემულ სიტყვებს მოცემული განმარტებები. So our very first definition is a plan of a journey that you are going to make, including information about when and where you will travel. I think we mentioned this one earlier, right, Zach?
And that should be itinerary.
Itinerary, very good. So it's a sort of a plan of your journey, of what you're going to, how you're going to get to the place and what you're going to do that, right?
Totally. And then Sophie, the time when you are not working or not busy.
Well, that can be a leisure time. As we said, leisure in Georgian means მოცლილობა ან თავისუფალი დრო. Therefore, the time when you are free and you are not working, you're relaxing, that's a leisure time.
And then also an official holiday when banks and most businesses are closed for a day.
And that would be a British day, let's say, let's call it this way. And it's a bank holiday. It's the holiday when people are not working and they are not, organizations are not working, banks are not working, and people are staying home celebrating, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
And then the next one we have time allowed away from work for a holiday or illness. And as we said, that would be...
It should be leave, so you would go on leave.
Yep, very true. And as we mentioned earlier, we have also sick leave and we have also maternity leave. Maternity leave when you are on leave because of your newly born baby. Sick leave is when you are on leave because of the certain illness. And when you are generally on holiday, you can say that you are on leave. Yep.
Yeah, exactly right. And then next we have an arrangement in which something such as a seat on an aircraft or a table at a restaurant is kept for you.
And that's a reservation. I've been to different restaurants and sometimes even on the table you have this kind of a label, reserved, booked. It means that this place has been reserved earlier for somebody else. So a reservation is when you want to go to the restaurant and keep a place for you, right?
Yeah, totally. And then next we have a place that many people go to for a holiday.
And that would be resort. And the next definition is the place where someone is going, a final destination.
Totally.
Yeah, quite obvious because we have this is the last word. A destination is the place where you are going.
Yeah, totally. And now let's go to our next set of vocabulary words from our reading.
ახლა კი გადავიდეთ ლექსიკის მეორე ნაწილზე. ამ ნაწილში ჩვენ სიტყვები მოცემული გვაქვს ტექსტიდან.
So our first word is overpriced, which is an adjective, and overpriced means when you're paying too much for something or it's just too expensive for what it is.
Yes, overpriced in Georgian means ზედმეტად ძვირი. At different, for example, luxury resorts can be overpriced, we can say, yes?
Yeah, totally.
So overpriced in Georgian means ზედმეტად ძვირი, as we said. Overpriced, ზედმეტად ძვირი. Overpriced, ზედმეტად ძვირი. Overpriced, ზედმეტად ძვირი.
And next we have properly, which is an adjective, and properly means when you do something right or very well.
Properly in Georgian means სათანადოდ. Properly, სათანადოდ. Properly, სათანადოდ. Properly, სათანადოდ.
And next we have horrifying, which is an adjective, and horrifying is when something is very scary or just something that is done very badly or looks very bad.
Horrifying, we can say that is also a synonym of a scary.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, frightening.
Yeah.
Horrifying in Georgian means შემაძრწუნებელი. Horrifying, შემაძრწუნებელი. Horrifying, შემაძრწუნებელი. Horrifying, შემაძრწუნებელი.
And next we have net, which is a noun, and net is the money you make after taxes.
So net is in Georgian means გადასახადების შემდეგ მიღებული თანხა, and it can be related to the salary, or it can be about some sort of benefit that you or profit that you receive, right?
Yeah.
So net გადასახადების შემდეგ აღებული თანხა, net გადასახადების შემდეგ მიღებული თანხა, net გადასახადების შემდეგ მიღებული თანხა.
And next we have disservice, which is a noun, and disservice is when something doesn't work out or someone does something wrong to you or something like that.
Yeah, and that word is coming from the word service, right? And this is a sort of a prefix that forms this word disservice. And in Georgian, disservice means tsudi samsahori an ziani. Disservice, tsudi samsahori an ziani. Disservice, tsudi samsahori an ziani. Disservice, tsudi samsahori an ziani.
And next we have stimulus, which is a noun. And stimulus means when you try to get someone to do something by like maybe paying them more like at a job or giving them extra perks.
Yeah, good. So even a sort of some kind words could serve as a stimulus for someone to do more. Stimulus in Georgian sounds pretty same as English, and it is stimuli. Stimulus, stimuli, stimulus, stimuli, stimulus, stimuli.
And next we have horizon, which is a noun, and horizon means when something is about to happen or is coming about.
Horizon in Georgian means horizonte. Horizon, horizonte, horizon, horizonte, horizon, horizonte.
Now let's move on to our reading comprehension.
So, ახლა კი გადავიდეთ წაკითხulis გააზრებაზე. Zach, what kind of holiday do you enjoy the most?
Oh, I love traveling, so I would love to go to a new country I've never been to, or I would like to go into some place that has a lot of nature, so go hiking, go camping, go fishing maybe even.
Okay.
Yeah, how about you?
That's a difficult question. Yeah, I love traveling as well, but because of the traveling limitations, it's been a very long time since I've traveled. So I guess I mentioned I like skiing, and that's my number one at the moment, skiing and going some sportive activities while I'm resting.
Oh, fantastic. So, an expensive holiday can bring more stress than pleasure, especially for families. The holidays are over, but memories of that expensive holiday remain. Travel delays and long queues at the airport, crowded resorts, extreme heat, or cold and overpriced food. Perhaps next time, it might be better to try a staycation. Regularly seen on lists of least liked modern words, staycation, stay plus vacation, sometimes also called a holiday, means a holiday spent at or close to home, either in your own house or in your home country rather than abroad. Staycations are a great way to get some relaxation and fun during your time off without spending money or time traveling.
So why don't many people do it? Staycations tend not to work for most people because they approach it like a long weekend, says organizational consultant and author James C. Galvin. They typically have no plan. They have no goals. To their mind, they stay at home because they can't afford a holiday right now. The most important thing, he says, is to plan properly, which means working out how to balance choice with the budget. For some, the concept of staycations is horrifying. The idea of holidaying at home is an oxymoron and does a real disservice to the benefits you receive by encountering new sensory stimuli. Blogs carry Harvanek. Things like stress relief, spirit renewal, expansion of one's mental, physical, or psychological horizons.
Research shows that while 26% of Americans are not at all confident that they will have a holiday, those who do are spending more. In the UK, families spend around 20% of their net incomes on holidays. This means that choosing the right type of break is really important. As always, it's a question of balance. The stress of packing and traveling versus the feeling of freedom and escape from everyday life. The financial savings from staycations versus the expenses of long-distance travel. The pleasures of playing tourists in your own garden versus the exhilaration of overseas culture, food, and language. Perhaps the best option is to start with a short staycation and test things. Now, let's move on to our reading activity where we will answer the given questions.
ახლა კი გადავიდეთ წაკითხulis გააზრების საორჯიშოზე, სადაც მოცემული გვაქვს კითხვები და ტექსტზე დაყრდნობით ერთად უნდა უპასუხოთ ამ კითხვებს. Let's start.
Let's do it. So, Sophie, why are many staycations unsuccessful?
As we read in the text, that's because a lot of people approach it like a long holiday, a long weekend, and they have nothing planned and no goal, and thus it's boring, sort of, yeah?
Yeah.
And our next question, why are expensive holidays stressful?
I think because they cost a lot of money, there can be travel delays, and extreme heat or cold and crowded areas might make it a problem and even more stressful.
Yes, absolutely right. That's the reason.
And why is it important to choose the right holiday?
Because you might not have much time or money and it can be stressful, so you should choose something that works for you and you will enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Good. And then what is a holiday or staycation?
As we read in the text, it's when you stay home and relax instead of traveling somewhere, a complete opposite of what I do.
Exactly, me too. So now let's move on to the grammar section where we will discuss third conditional.
ახლა კი გადავიდეთ გრამატიკის ნაწილზე. დღეს ჩვენ განვიხილავთ მესამე ტიპის პირობით წინადადებებს.
So the type third conditional refers to an impossible condition in the past and its probable result in the past. These sentences are truly hypothetical and unreal because it is now too late for the condition or its result to exist. There is always some implication of regret with type third conditional sentences. The reality is the opposite of or contrary to what the sentence expresses. In the type third conditional sentences, the time is the past and the situation is hypothetical. For example, if I had worked harder, I would have passed the exam. But I didn't work hard and I didn't pass the exam.
მესამე ტიპის პირობითი წინადადება უკავშირდება არარსებულ მდგომარეობას წარსულ დროში და მის სავარაუდო შედეგს წარსულ დროში. მსგავსი წინადადებები არის ჰიპოთეტური და არარეალური, რადგან უკვე ძალიან გვიანაა რომ პირობა შესრულდეს ან პირობის შედეგი. მესამე ტიპის პირობით წინადადებებში ყოველთვის გვაქვს სინანულის ნიშანი. რეალობა ყოველთვის საწინააღმდეგოა იმისი, რასაც წინადადება გამოხატავს. მესამე ტიპის პირობით წინადადებებში დრო არის წარსული, ხოლო სიტუაცია ყოველთვის ჰიპოთეტური. მაგალითად, if I had worked harder, I would have passed the exam, but I didn't work hard and I didn't pass the exam.
And in a type third conditional sentence, the tense in the if clause is the past perfect, and the tense in the main clause is the perfect conditional or the perfect continuous conditional. For example, if it had rained, you would have gotten wet.
მესამე ტიპის პირობით წინადადებებში დრო if-იან წინადადებებში არის წარსული სრული დრო, ხოლო მთავარ წინადადებაში კი გვაქვს would have-ს დამატებული ზმნის მესამე ფორმა, ანუ perfect conditionally, ან would have been-ს დამატებული გერუნდივი ზმნის ინგიანი ფორმა, ანუ perfect continuous conditionally. მაგალითად, if it had rained, you would have gotten wet.
In type third conditional sentences, you can also use modals in the main clause instead of would or express the degree of certainty, permission, or a recommendation about the outcome. For example, you could have been on time if you had caught the bus.
მესამე ტიპის პირობით წინადადებებში ასევე შეგვიძლია გამოვიყენოთ მოდალური ზმნები მთავარ წინადადებაში would-ის მაგიერ, რათა გამოვხატოთ რაიმეს დარწმუნებით ცოდნა, ნების დართვა ან რეკომენდაცია შედეგის შესახებ. მაგალითად, you could have been on time if you had caught the bus.
So now let's go on to our grammar section and rewrite the sentences using third conditional.
ახლა კი გადავიდეთ გრამატიკის საორჯიშოზე და გადავწეროთ წინადადებები მესამე ტიპის პირობითი წინადადების გამოყენებით.
So for the first one, Sophie, so if we go to the cinema, we see my friend Jacob.
So as you mentioned earlier, in the if part of the sentence, we need to use past perfect. If we had gone to the cinema, we would have seen my friend Jacob. In the second one, we have a perfect conditional. Would have seen my friend Jacob.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then the next one. If it's not and starts to rain, we walk to the museum.
Yes, and as we mentioned also when we were talking about the grammar part, these sentences are highly hypothetical and the contrary of the reality. And that's why we have, if it had not started to rain, we would have walked to the museum. It means that it started to rain and they could not walk to the museum. In the first part of the sentence, in the if part, we have negation of the past perfect, had not started, and then the second part of the sentence we have perfect conditional, would have walked to the museum.
Yeah. And if she take the bus, she not and arrive on time.
In this case, the negation is located not in the if part of the sentence, but into the main part. Therefore, we will have, if she had taken the bus, she would not have arrived on time.
And if you ask me, I help you.
If you had asked me, I would have helped you. Again, it means that you did not ask my help, and therefore I didn't help you.
Yeah, totally. So now let's move on to the summary.
ახლა კი მოდით ერთად შევაჯამოთ დღევანდელი ჩვენი გაკვეთილი.
So for today's topic was holidays. So we had lots of words that associated with holidays, like bank holiday, which was new for me.
Yeah, we have lived. We also had overpriced. We have stimulus. We had horizon, horrifying. We had also something related to the salary, which was net, right? Also a profit
after
related.
Taxes.
Yeah, something that you receive, the money that you receive after taxes. And after that, we moved to the text comprehension. In the text comprehension, we had staycation, yes. Yeah. So instead of traveling outside and spending a lot of money, people prefer to stay at home and relax and plan their holidays according to that plan. Quite interesting perspective.
Yeah, exactly right.
And after that, we moved to the grammar activity. Do you remember what was our grammar?
And it was third conditional for
yes.
grammar.
Now I think it's time to wrap everything up with our a lovely homework.
Of course. So for your homework, please write a short paragraph about what kind of holiday you prefer.
საშინაო დავალებად გთხოვთ დაწერეთ როგორი დასვენება გირჩევნიათ.
And please send your homework to the address on the screen.
გთხოვთ გამოაგზავნოთ თქვენი დავალება ეკრანზე მითითებულ მისამართზე.
And also please make it yourself and don't copy it from somewhere else because we know you can do it.
ბონუსზე ასევე დაგხვდებათ დავალების ნიმუში, რომელიც შეგიძლიათ რომ გამოიყენოთ თქვენი საშინაო დავალებისთვის, თუმცა გთხოვთ არ გადაიწეროთ, რადგან ვიცით რომ გაცილებით უკეთესი შეგიძლიათ დაწეროთ თქვენ თვითონ. I think now it's time to say goodbye.
I think so too.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, thank you.
See you later.